Well, good afternoon. We know that some of you are jumping on and will be joining us here over the next couple of minutes. But I just want to say welcome to our last 2021 virtual Ranching 101 session on behalf of Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers. We're so glad that you're here joining us. Or if you're watching this at a recorded session later, we're excited to get to tell you the opportunities that lay in front of you as a part of your TSCRA member benefits today. First, just a couple of announcements before we get started. I want to remind everyone about our next Ranching 101 session, which will be January 18th. And the topic is going to be breed selection, harnessing the power of heterosis versus purebred. Which should you look into and which is most beneficial for your operation? Again, that will be January 18th from 1 to 2 p.m., hosted by Leoma Wells of Allied Genetic Solutions. So we're excited for that. You can sign up on our website at anytime, tscra.org. Also, a friendly reminder for those of you who don't yet have it on your calendar, our Cattle Raisers Convention and Expo will be held March 25th to 27th, 2022 at the Fort Worth Convention Center. We are excited. That's a huge gathering. Over 4,500 attendees and members gather every year to see our over 250 trade show booths and get great educational experiences. So we hope you'll join us March 25th to 27th at Fort Worth Convention Center. The registration for that will open in early January, and you can find that at cattleraisers.convention.com. Before we get started, we do have a quick message from our sponsor today, which is Lone Star Ag Credit. So we'll play that video at this time.
My name is Jason Jones, and I work for Lone Star Ag Credit. Our mission is to help rural America. It's here to help the farmers, the ranchers, the part-time farmers, the guys wanting to buy recreational land. If we do our job right, we keep the rural communities running. The farmers, the ranchers we're financing, they're putting money into local grocery stores, into the tire companies. In the big picture, we're keeping everything moving for our rural communities to keep them alive.
Well, thank you so much to Lone Star Ag Credit for being such a great sponsor, supporter, and partner to the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers. We certainly appreciate them. Without further ado, we'll get into our presentation today. I just want to make a comment that at any time, if you have questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to ask those. While we can't hear you, you can drop those down at the bottom bar on your screen. You'll see two boxes. One says Q&A, and there's also a chat box. Feel free to drop those questions into either of those throughout the webinar this afternoon, and then we will answer those all at the end before we get off. So again, if you have questions, feel free to drop those in either the Q&A or chat box, and we will address those at the end. So at this time, we'll turn it over to Wayne Cockrell and Alan Curry, who are our chair and vice chair of our Membership Development Committee, to just talk about the benefits of being a TSCRA member. Wayne, over to you.
Thank you, Emily. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're excited to get to visit with you about leveraging your TSCRA membership benefits. And I'm happy to be joined here by Alan Curry. Today, I am a member of the board of directors. I live in College Station, Texas, and Alan Curry is also a member of the Cattle Raisers Board of Directors and is from San Angelo, Texas. And so we're just going to visit today, have a conversation, as you will, about all the different benefits and all the different facets of cattle raisers. And, I guess kind of starting with, kind of our purpose with cattle raisers, and especially with the Membership Development Committee, is that whether you've been a member for 50 years or you simply recognize the blue sign that's on the gate or on the fence as you go along the road, there's always more that you can do to get involved with cattle raisers, and we are certainly here to help you do that. So I guess real quickly, kind of starting with the history and the structure of cattle raisers, TSCRA. There's 18,000 members. There's basically 4 million head of cattle and 76 million acres of rangeland and pasture land that our members control. And we have a board. Yep, go right ahead, Alan.
Let me kick in a little bit about kind of where this got started. back in 1877 with 40 ranchers, 40 cattlemen, and they started the organization really to fight cattle theft. And so it really started with 40 ranchers. They were up in Graham, Texas, and like you said, now it's grown to close to 18,000. So a lot of history in this organization.
We've come a long ways, and kind of the guiding force of the association. There's 135 board of director members that are elected every year by the membership, and then we have 3 of our officers we have a president who's Hughes Abel, our first vice president who's Arthur Ohl, and the second vice president who's Carl Ray Polk. And it's interesting because each one of them come from different areas of the state. Everyone brings a different perspective, and there seems to be a perception maybe that everyone's a large landowner, and couldn't be further from the truth. The average herd is less than 50 head for our members, and there's within our membership there's kind of 8 different departments that are staffed. If Alan, if you want to kind of talk about those different departments within cattle raisers structure and organization.
Well, let me go back real quick to the officers. So those officers, they're really in it for a 6-year gig, 2-year terms each, and then they rotate through. And then after they're president, they continue to serve as a past president and really continue that as long as they're able. Wayne, without going into all the different departments, the cattle raisers is of course fully staffed to take care of all of a rancher, a landowner, a cattle owner's needs. I don't have all those departments in front of me. If you do, or if Emily does.
Gotcha. Well, we'll talk about these kind of as we go throughout the deal, but I guess the very first one that's probably the front and center of our membership and our organization, and that's our special rangers and the job that they do, that they're tasked with. You can see on your screen there that they're divided up into different ranger districts, and they have a supervisor for each one of those, and these are the guys you call when you're missing some livestock, or a theft has occurred. These are the guys that recover stolen property, livestock, equipment. The background of these guys, these are not just cowboys with a gun. These are investigators, and they've got years and years of experience before they ever come on board with our organization.
And there's 30 of them. We've got 30 special rangers, and then of course Scott Williamson's the executive director in charge of all of them. And as you can see on the map, they cover all of Texas and Oklahoma, 6 different regions. Anyway, what I tell a lot of people about the special rangers, you don't have to have cattle stolen or horses. Literally, if somebody comes and steals your riding lawnmower, off your ranch or off your property, call these rangers. You will be amazed how fast they can track down these livestock thefts, these equipment thefts. They're bird dogs, I promise
you. Yes. One thing that they work with as well is they're kind of the supervisory role of the brand inspectors that many of you may see at your local livestock market as you sell cattle, and all those brands are recorded, and so they work hand in hand with our rangers. Alan, you want to visit with them a little bit about the brand renewal and just, we're kind of right in the middle of that right now and how that works.
Yeah. So the brand renewal, all our brands in Texas are expiring now. And so what you need to do, if you own livestock, you need to renew your brand in the county or counties that you operate. And I operate in several different counties, and I've just literally started the process. I went down to the Tom Green County Clerk's office and renewed my brand here in Tom Green County, which San Angelo is the county seat of. Real easy, took less than 5 minutes. You fill out a piece of paper, you draw your brand, you identify where you put your brand, you identify your earmarks for cows, bulls, steers, heifers. Everybody's, got a little different way to do it, but the special rangers are really, really encouraging everybody to re-register, or if you've never registered your brand, I'm telling you from experience, I just did it in San Angelo, and literally, I can't remember what it cost. I think it's $25 or $30, but I was there less than 5 minutes. And I'm going to renew another one tomorrow in Sterling County as I'm up there. And anyway, we really encourage everybody to have a brand. It's so much easier for these special rangers to track down your livestock instead of say, well, I've got a black baldy cow I'm missing. And when you can describe a little more to them, they're pretty good at it.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. The next group of heroes that I call heroes are the people that staff our government affairs portion of the cattle raisers, and I'm going to get Alan to visit, and tell you kind of what his experience with these guys are. But the three gentlemen that we have in Austin at the time, they do a wonderful job behind the scenes. They're kind of that invisible force that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on issues that affect us, not just on the cattle business, but landowners. And so, Alan, if you'd like to, kind of give them your take on the government relations lobbyists.
Yeah. So these three young men are really all hard workers. And not just in Austin. They do a lot of stuff in the United States. They know what's going on in DC. They know what's going on in other states, in other industries, not just, dealing with Texas Cattle Raisers Association. You'd be amazed to pick these guys' brains, how much they really know about what's going on in the United States, not just Texas. I talk to them fairly often. I talk to all three of them, actually. If I've got a question about, for example, a eminent domain, question, I might call Caleb and say, hey, what's going on in Austin? What's this state rep doing? How do we stand right now? And it doesn't take those guys 2 seconds, and they're right back, with you with an answer. So I think it's a big part of being a member of cattle raisers and being able to have these guys in Austin. With that said, their salaries and a lot of stuff we get done come out of our PAC. And our PAC, we do try to raise a lot of money, through cattle raisers to support these politicians that we need on our side, that we need to help us, to believe in and to fight for what we believe in. So anyway, I think it's a huge part of being a member of cattle raisers, having access to these guys.
Absolutely. There are organizations out there that are well funded, that get up every day, and their purpose is to put us out of business. And so it's so important that those of us in the industry, we have a stake in the game, and we have to be involved. And these three gentlemen here certainly they carry the sword for us, and are great advocates, not only to our rural legislators, but also to the urban legislators as well. So
Wayne,
they're very important.
I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say our CEO, Jason Skaggs, was in this role as well in Austin. He did a tremendous job for us in Austin on that. These guys are chip off the old block, but it's very
Absolutely.
nice. Jason,
he's so Jason. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I just said Jason is so well versed what's going on in Austin. He spent a lot of time down there. I think he's helping these three guys just from his experience.
Absolutely, he is. He's he's so well respected, and knows all the players, and knows how to maneuver throughout that part of the world. So one of the things that really is a great way to get involved with cattle raisers are the events that we have, and as Emily mentioned earlier, our annual convention is going to be in Fort Worth on March 25th to the 27th, and we have ranch gatherings, and we'll have our summer meeting, policy conference, partnership events. Alan, kind of visit with them about about how important and kind of when you're a new member, especially, and you want to get involved with cattle raisers, this is really a great place to meet other members and to get involved.
Well, Wayne, there's something for everybody. I mean, I think everybody needs to attend a convention and see what it's like. It's a tremendous trade show, 4,500 plus people there. Your neighbors are going to be there. You're going to meet new friends. It's a great learning event, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it is a ton of fun. I mean, I guess we've announced it because I saw it in my Cattleman's magazine, or the Cattleman magazine, that George W. Bush, President Bush, is going to be our keynote speaker at the convention next year. I mean, I cannot wait to hear him speak. I've been blessed to hear him speak a couple of times, and anyway, I can't wait. It's going to be a big event. And just back on some of these other, the ranch gatherings. I mean, they're a ton of fun. They're kind of statewide. It's always fun to see your neighbors, catch up with them. Always a big free steak involved. I enjoy going to the ranch gatherings. Our summer meetings are a little more less business. It's open to any member that wants to come. This year, we're actually having it in Santa Fe, and it's from June 9th to June 11th. That's going to be a lot of fun. Dadgum, we've had our summer meeting, our conventions, our policy conference. I guess those 3 were canceled in 2020. So it's going to be nice to kind of get back going on that. The policy conference, let me say a little bit about that, Wayne. That's a little more business. The organization works on a lot of business during the policy conference. That policy conference this year is actually in September 12th through the 14th. I believe it's in, don't hold me to it, it's either in Austin or San Antonio this year. Do you know?
I believe it's going to be in Austin because as election years, I believe it falls in Austin. Non-election years falls in San Antonio.
I want to know that.
I knew that at one point.
It's in San Antonio. San Antonio.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So this is So yeah, and those ranch gatherings too are great opportunities to bring some friends or some of your kin folks, your kids. Just a great opportunity to expose non-members, to our organization and kind of a mini convention to get to visit with the folks that are in your area that are also members in there.
Wayne, do you kind of want to go over some of those, what we've got coming up in 2022? Just, it's not set in stone, but do you want to kind of go over some of the locations?
Yeah, I don't know that I have that right in front of me. Do you have your in front of you?
I actually do.
Go right ahead. Oh, there they are right there. So go right ahead.
Well, go ahead. If you've got them, go ahead.
Yeah. So we're looking, from January to April, you can see we look at having some regional educational events, and those are kind of really a little mini convention. And then these traditional ranch gatherings, as you see on your screen, from January to April, those will be some of the locations. And then we have some other partnering events. So you're going to see our presence at San Antonio and Houston livestock shows, and Fort Worth, the livestock show. And then there's kind of, we've broken those down. The next ones are going to be from May to August. And then from September to December. And these can all be found online. They'll be in the Cattleman magazine. These will, the daily emails that come out that we're going to talk about here in just a moment. But please, you will enjoy it. If you haven't been to one of these ranch gatherings or one of these regional events, I think that they are really a great opportunity to learn. And not only that, but to really get some people, to meet some people and get involved.
Wayne, we had one in San Angelo this fall out at what they call the Fort Concho Stables, and had, well over 200 people, and great caterer, great steaks, really enjoyed it. As a matter of fact, we couldn't get people to leave. The girls were trying to hush everybody out the door, and, people were just still, because it's a good chance to visit. It's hard to visit, in a big area to see your neighbors and friends all the time. But when you put, a group together, we really had a good time. So
that's fantastic. That's fantastic to hear there. And another way to get involved is through being a member of our committees. And We have 4 committees: Animal Health and Wellbeing Committee, the Natural Resources and Wildlife Committee, Marketing Transportation Committee, Property Rights and Tax Committee. Alan, I know you've served on the Marketing Committee. I know you served on several throughout the years. Just how important is that?
Well, that's kind of the driving force really behind cattle raisers to sit on these committees. And anybody can sit on a committee. You don't have to be on the board of directors or on the executive committee or so on and so on. As you're in good standing member, you can ask to be put on one of these 4 committees. And this is kind of the driving force. How cattle raiser does their business is through these committees. I've actually, right when I got out of TC Ranch Management in 1984, John Merrill asked me to serve on one of these committees. That's a long time ago. And I'm still on, I guess I'm on the Natural Resources and Wildlife Committee now, and try to participate, help when I can, do what I can. But like I said, we hope anybody that's a member, if you really want to get involved, being on one of these committees is really a big help to the association. I know you serve on a bunch of committees too, Wayne.
Yes, and that's it's kind of the nuts and bolts. That's where our policy is made at these committee levels, and I'm the same way. I've been fortunate enough to serve on those, not only with cattle raisers, but also at the NCBA level, and is an opportunity to give back to the industry with your time. So very important to take advantage of that opportunity if you so wish. The next kind of segment of our association that is equally as important as the others, it would be our the education, and the Ranching 101 programs. I'm just amazed at the information and the ability to continue to learn, to be a lifelong learner in this industry, and cattle raisers affords us as a member to continue to do that, because things are changing at all times. And then the School for Successful Ranching at the conventions, beef quality assurance. I mean, these are all areas to be able to improve your operations. Which if you can improve your operations, it improves your bottom line. And
well, Wayne, have you are you doing some of these, or participating or not participating? Have you been watching some of these monthly webinars?
Yes.
I'm intrigued by the one Emily said that's going to be in January, talking about breed selection and using heterosis and all that.
Absolutely.
We're all raise as big a calves as we can and as marketable calves as we can. I'm going to tune into that one in January. It tweaked my interest.
Absolutely. These are opportunities to improve your operations, and they're all a benefit of being a member. And it's one of those things when we get to the point where we no longer want to learn and we think we've learned it all, it usually doesn't end well. Mother Nature seems to always remind us, and if you're not staying up with the latest, whether it be in genetics, animal health, all the chemical products that we're able to use on brush control and things, those are all topics that you can learn through our School for Successful Ranching and Ranching 101 seminars. And of course, also again, the Beef Quality Assurance Program that cattle raisers partners with the Texas Beef Council and the Texas Agri-Life Extension Service. And this is, promoting the best management practices for the cattle producers. And that's the whole goal behind the Beef Quality Assurance deal was confidence from our consumers. And that whole program has done as much as any of the things that we've done in our industry to help promote our beef product, and it's resulted in higher prices for us as producers.
Wayne, we had one out here in San Angelo several years ago at the A&M Research Center, and I attended it, and I learned so much. There was a big crowd there. I know they have them all over the state, several times during the year, but I didn't realize that you can also do it online. So, if you can't attend one in person, it's a fairly easy, online, but gosh, just a world of information. And you're exactly right. It's all about the consumer. And I highly recommend anybody to either attend one in person or do one online. That BQA is something else.
Yes, and it's something that the whole family can use. Everyone that's helping you do your spring work or your fall work on your cattle herd. If everyone understands why we're giving these vaccines and why we're giving the vaccines in these certain locations, it just helps all of us be more consumer friendly and have an idea. As we're advocates for our industry, we can talk about these things and what we do to help our beef quality. So the next thing that I think that's very underutilized with our membership is our membership discounts. And you can go online to let you know who all we partner with. But these are some great companies that partner with us, and these are a lot of these products. These are products that we use, and so by being able to support some of the industry companies that support us, it helps not only our membership, but it helps us personally to get some discounts on items that we're using this already. So one question I've got, because I'm pretty sure that you mentioned over the years that you're a member of our TSCRA insurance program, and would you like to share a little bit about that with us?
Well, I will. So I have actually used Cattle Raisers Insurance. Our family's used it literally from the get-go. Since we started having children, our children have all aged out of it now, but I have a individual membership. I've looked at doing some possibly a group policy with some of my ranch employees, and currently right now, we're still doing, our family just individual policy. My kids all, like I said, have aged out and they have their own insurance, through their employers. So what we've done, Wayne, is I've used Cattle Raisers health insurance for, I don't know, 25 or 30 years probably. But now they've got so many other opportunities. Cattle Raisers Insurance is a big part of TSCRA. This property and casualty deals is taken off, and they've got a really good staff. Michelle does a great job. If I've got a question, I'll pick the phone up, and any of those girls down there, they can answer your question pretty quick.
Thank you for sharing that with us, because yes, it's a great insurance that's available to our membership. So thank you. I guess the kind of wrapping up, the last one that we want to discuss is communications. What does TSCRA bring to you as far as communications? And you can see on your screen there, we have a daily member email from Katrina Hufstetler, and man, that's a fantastic way to just keep up every day on what's happening. And there are times where I'll see the market down, and I'll wonder what in the world's going on today. And gosh, you look at the email, and Katrina's on top of it. And not just that, but just the interviews and the with our other members, the way to connect with other members through her interviews and things with other people on there is just fantastic on a daily basis. And of course,
I'll tell you what I like. I'll tell you what I like about it, Wayne. So I get that email about 4:30, 5 o'clock. I look forward to it every day, five days a week. But the first part of it always talks about our special rangers and who they've arrested or who they're looking for, or there's been, 5 calves stolen in East Texas, and I enjoy starting with that. And then also another thing I enjoy about it is they've always got a good weather report on there, and the conditions around the state. If it's dry in South Texas, how much it's rained in East Texas. And I really, if I don't see it, by the end of the day, then I'm going to get on my phone or get on my computer, and I'm going to track it down and say, I didn't really, like you said about the market. It's really kind of cool to get that 5-day-a-week email.
Yes, it is. It's a way to definitely to stay informed about
Very
what's going on in the world. So, and then of course we all look forward to getting the Cattleman magazine every month. They do a fantastic job. Same way, it's amazing to me how the Cattleman has evolved over the years to where there's so much information, whether it's the stories or it's the just the new products that are coming out. Information that they provide is truly just amazing to me every month. And then I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to any of the podcasts, but wow, those are great when I'm driving down the road. I'll listen to those podcasts. Just fantastic, for sure. And so then they'll do that. I think that's available by the Apple Podcasts, the Google Play, and all those things are available on your phone. Well, you can get on those, and there's advertising opportunities for you, industry stories, member highlights, and of course, the magazine does a great job of letting everyone know what the upcoming events are. So.
Right. Yeah, there's a great calendar in there every month. I was looking at mine today. Actually, today's the first chance I had to look at it, and there's a couple of stories that I'm going to try to read here in the next few days, but I flipped through it, and yeah, the calendar's always, I enjoy doing it. Reading, kind of what's coming up.
Yes, Katrina does a wonderful job.
Don't ask me, Wayne, to talk anything about Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Media is not my cup of tea.
I understand, but it is amazing those that are. Cattle raisers are as engaged as any organization out there on any of the social platforms. The content,
cutting edge. Cutting.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
It's just I'm not versed to speak on it.
I understand. Thank goodness that we have a group that are, and they are fantastic at it. So that kind of wraps up all the ways that you can leverage your membership benefits. You can contact TSCRA. There you see on the deal are the email address, the phone number, the website. The website is evolving as we speak. It's truly the website that we haven't spoken enough about, because the amount of information on our website is there. Get on it. Everything that we've talked about is a portal access to all the things that we've discussed today.
It actually is a really cutting edge website, and I know we've really worked hard on it for the last year plus. I couldn't be more proud of it. But Wayne, I'll say one more thing that we didn't talk about, the blue cattle raiser signs, but as you and I and all our friends and neighbors drive up and down these highways and county roads and farm roads, they're everywhere. Those blue signs are everywhere. When we had our ranch gatherings in San Angelo, there were several people came up to me and said, how do I get one of those blue cattle raiser signs? You talk about a benefit of being a member of Cattle Raisers is having that blue posted sign on your gate or on your fence. I'm telling you, I think it's as big a benefit to have one of those blue signs to curtail these guys that might want to hop the fence or cut your lock. I think it does a lot of good. Anyway, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our blue signs.
Thank you, Alan, because that is such an important aspect of our membership is that blue sign. It identifies who that property owner is, and it is a deterrent. So with that, Emily, we have any questions from the group?
We do. We have quite a few questions that have come in. So I'm going to start asking a few. And then as I'm asking, y'all feel free to drop some more questions in the Q&A or chat box. You can also email some of them to us at education@tscra.org. But the easiest way is probably to drop it in the Q&A box. So the first question that I've got is, how do I know who my special ranger is?
Well, Wayne, I think we could go back to that map and look at where your ranch is located, and it's done by regions. And then you can look at that map. Can we pull that map back up, Emily?
Sure. We'll get it pulled up here.
Get it pulled up. There it was. And just see where your ranch is or your land is, and you can kind of follow the region numbers and the district numbers, and
you see the contact information over to the right. Would be the contact. You can always, call the TSCRA offices, and they will put you in contact with them. But this is a very good, easy way to do it right here. If you get the Cattleman magazine, it's there. If not, it's available online at our website, or call into the offices, and they will hook you up with Scott, and Scott will put you where you need to go in contact.
And let me say one thing about the Rangers, and we can move on. They'll be glad to come see you. They'll be glad to meet you in town. They'll be glad to meet you at the ranch. Even if you don't have a problem, they want to get to know everybody that's ranching in that area. And I enjoy talking to them. They're really, really good guys. I tell you what's a fun deal they do. They have a special Ranger auction at our Cattle Raisers Convention, and they're raising money for the Rangers. And it is a lot of fun to go hang out with those guys. It's typically the last afternoon. They have a big silent auction, and it all closes. And anyway, you can see all those guys in there. It's fun.
Yes, and that money, that fundraising, not only is it's for the foundation, which is wonderful, but there are some really cool items. It gets to be very competitive to win one of those.
And they're not going to be available anywhere else.
No, that's right. That's exactly right. And those items are all donated either by members or by our industry allies, which is another reason to use them. So, Emily, go ahead with the next question.
Sure. Next question is, how do I get involved? I've been a member. I want to go to the next step. So y'all may touch again on the committees, but also some of our merchandise that we have for sale, some of the signs and other merch that we have available.
It's a great question. And I always say, hey, either contact Jason Skaggs there at the Cattle Raisers offices and find out who the committee chairman is, and contact the committee chairman and get on the committee. And sometimes you say, look, I'm willing to serve on any of these committees. Here's my background. Let's just use, for instance, if you've got a financial background. Well, gosh, there are different committees where we can use a member's skills to help our organization and our industry. Everyone brings something to the table, and the experience and skills sometimes outside of the cattle industry are very important to the success of our organization.
I agree, Wayne. I think the best way to get involved is to start in, from a committee level. And another way to get involved is try to go to the ranch gatherings in your area. Not necessarily maybe the one, in the town you live in, but if there's one down the road, 60 miles, go to that one. Come to a summer meeting, come to a policy conference, meet as many people as you can. It won't take long that you'll get reeled in, and next thing you know, you're on a committee, and anyway, sky's the limit on that.
Yes, sir. With this organization, just volunteer to help and get involved, and you will get involved really quickly, for sure. So, and back to your deal. Yes, on the website, we have our trading spot company, which has caps, sweaters, merchandise, the signs. That's where you can get the signs, and also we have the new liability signs that are out because of the legislation change that gives us, once again, kind of our lobbyist legislative staff and the work that they did help pass a bill where we got some limited liability to injuries on the farm or ranch. And we have some of those signs that are available as well on the website.
Same blue color.
Yep. That is our next question. Tell us about the signs that we keep talking about. Somebody asked, heard there's a new sign that's a law. Can you tell us a little bit about that, how that came about, and where they can get those signs?
Wayne, let me address it real quick. So I think what they're talking about, Emily, is the new Farm Liability Act.
Yes.
That I ordered a number of those signs myself, and we've actually hung them up on a lot of gates. And it was some new legislation that was passed that protects the landowner from just some liability. I don't want to get into the legal side of it because I'm not an attorney. But I know there's at one time, I think they had printed over 800 signs. Don't hold me to that, Emily, but I know mine came in the mail about 2 weeks ago and in 2 boxes that were so damn heavy. And we've hung them up. It's different than the posted cattle raiser sign. The posted cattle sign is a posted blue sign, very, very heavy duty metal sign with big grommets, that you can hang on a fence or your gate or whatever. And the other sign is just our new that liability language that's on there. So and they're all available just through the cattle raiser's office. They're mailing them out, as fast as they can. It seemed like I waited about maybe a month, and then mine came. So I know they're mailing a lot right now.
We are, and to add on to that, we have got thousands of signs ordered, and we are shipping them out as fast as we can get them in the office. Our sign supplier is experiencing delays in terms of getting materials and shipping. And so as soon as we get them out in, we're shipping them right back out in the order that they have been received. So yes, we are glad to take orders and get them out as soon as they can be. Next question that I've got is for anybody who's not receiving any of these daily communications, whether that's the email or the magazine, how can they get that?
Well, I guess, Wayne, my daily communication just comes through my email. Like I said, I get it about 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5 days a week. And then of course the Cattleman magazine, comes to my address, all part of being a member. And then we get a lot of, just random communications, for example, this, Ranching 101, that goes out to all the members. I think I've got 2 or 3 notices about that. I would just make sure to call the office, have your member number available and make sure they have your current email address. If you want to participate via text, I know some people are funny about that. You're welcome to provide a phone number and of course your mailing address to get your Cattleman magazine.
Right. And with our online, with our membership portal, if we don't already, we will have the ability to go in there and update your member information. And so it's be critical to make sure that if you have a change of address or an email change or phone number change, make sure that membership information is up to date so that there's not a disruption in the information coming back to you.
Yes. Yep, that is correct. Last question that we've got here, and then we'll try to wind it down unless any other questions come in. With the recent decision in Oklahoma, are the rangers still going to help cattlemen that are a victim of cattle thief if they're Native American? I've heard that you cannot investigate those crimes if you're Native American or in Indian country. And so I will briefly touch on that. And then Wayne and Alan, if you want to add any of your perspective, while we are not on the law enforcement side, I'd have to get confirmation from the special rangers. And so to the person that submitted that question, if you just want to drop your email address in, I'll connect you with your local special ranger and they can kind of fill you in on that. I believe that is correct. From my best recollection, I believe that in order for us to investigate crimes on Native American territory, we have to be invited in by the tribal police. And so that is from my best recollection, Wayne or Alan, unless you have anything else to add. But to the person that submitted that question, if you want to just add your email address in there or email us, TSCRA@tscra.org, we'll get you connected with a special ranger who can answer for sure the most up to date on what's happening in Oklahoma.
That's a great answer. And one thing to keep in mind is our special rangers have a great working relationship with all the other law enforcement agencies in the area. And so whether that's the tribal police or others. And so certainly think that, that's going forward, that relationship is very, very important. We do have that already.
That's correct, Wayne. We, the Special Rangers really pride themselves on having great relationships with both Texas and Oklahoma, whether that's the Texas Rangers or the Oklahoma State Bureau of Police Investigation. They have great contacts with everyone. And so follow up with us and we'll get you connected with your Special Ranger in your area. With that, we are finished with our questions for what has been submitted. So for anyone else who has any further questions, you can email us, tscra@tscra.org, and we are happy to get your question answered. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward, hopefully, to seeing you back here January 18th for our next Ranching 101. Wayne and Alan, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate you volunteering your time, and hope you all have a great week and great Christmas holidays. Thank you all.
Thank you, Emily. We enjoyed it.
Thanks. Glad to help. Wayne, have a happy holidays.
Hey, thank you, Alan. Same to you as well.
Let's stay in touch.
Yes, Will. Tyler, thank you so much for putting the presentation together. And Annie, thank you for navigating it. We appreciate it very much. Wonderful job.
Couldn't do it without you.
Absolutely. I made it so easy to be able to have that visually to talk to. So thank you.
Well, thank y'all for joining us. We really enjoyed it and we were happy to help. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good day, Alan. Thanks.
See you later. Bye.